I say something. The camera can probably see you today.
Huh?
The camera can probably see you
The
today.
camera is on you.
Why is it on me? You got to face it front ways. It can see you.
I
It's your
don't.
time to be in the camera. Put
I
the camera on
don't.
yourself.
I don't want to be in the
Well, pass me
camera.
the camera so I can put the camera on you today.
Why?
Because you got to face it front ways anyway. So, hello, people. It's crazy, crazy woman. Today, we're on the highway today. Now we decided, we have, of course, we don't say, hey, let's take our finances and pick and choose a bank. But you know what? So we have a bank with CB&T. We also have a bank with IAM. And for our business, even though the closest black bank is 2 hours away, we decided that we were going to do business with a black-owned bank. Reason being is because we don't do business with a black-owned bank. We don't even have a black-owned bank account or anything like that. And that's something I always wanted to do. I wanted to bank black, just to show some support. It's hard to get support in the black community, so I wanted to be part of that and support a black bank. So we had some finances come in that were unexpected, and since we had some unexpected capital, we decided we would invest a little bit of it today with a black bank. And so we're halfway through the trip. We should be pulling up in the next 30 minutes or so to the bank, and we're gonna set up our business account there. And so that's who we're gonna do business with, even though it's out the way. It's a 2-hour drive out here. I felt like it was important to do, and so here we are, headed out to. If you're in Alabama, you stay in the lower Alabama area. The closest black-owned bank is in Tuskegee. So I don't know. I know some people are familiar with the Tuskegee Airmen story, and that's out here in Tuskegee, Alabama. Also, Tuskegee is a big agricultural place. They have a school for agriculture out here. Fortunately, I'm at a point in my life where I couldn't take the time to enroll in a school out here in Tuskegee and attend a school in Tuskegee. I couldn't do that. I had to find an agriculture, something a little bit closer, some kind of degree in agriculture, just an associate's for right now, associate's program to get set up in agriculture. But I can tell you along the trip, we've had a lot of good conversations. Another farmer called me today and let me know that a service had came out to clear some of his trees, and he let them know about me and wanted me to come over to his farm to introduce myself to them tomorrow. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. It was an unexpected phone call, but it was a good phone call. I understand why somebody would say, at the same time, knowing that we do a vlog, they would say, hey, I don't want to be made public. I don't want to be on the blog, stuff like that, which is fine. But I feel like why not? But of course, people have different things going on, and you never know the reasons for not wanting to be made public. With us, we have a public type of attitude. We want you to know, and we want you to be involved. If you're taking the time to watch the videos, then we want you to know what we do, how we do it, when we do it. Mainly because I feel like it's a good practice. Not only is it video recording, but it's also documentation later on as the videos build up and build up and build up, and over time, and you just forget about it. You keep the practice going, and later on, when you need the documentation, it's there. Good thing is, I don't know if we said it, but last week we went and turned in our corporate documents to the town clerk where we stay at, and that was like the last of the beginning of documentations that we needed was the corporate documents. Of course, we got a long list of documents before we got the corporate documents done, but at the same time, there's always more and more and more and more and more you have to do as you're trying to go higher up with your standing and your pursuit of excellence. I know there's a lot of people out there who, they have a skill for something, but they never get the proper documents to go along with the skill. And so the skill is always devalued when it comes to them compared to somebody who has documentation about their skills, and their value goes up for the skill that they have. It goes hand in foot in the society. That we live in now, really, with your documentation, without your documentation, you could be the most skilled person in the world, but that you won't be compensated the way that. Look at that. Take Alabama A&M farm for farming right there. This is one of their facilities somewhere out here. They have a farming facility out here. Look at that. I got out topic already. If you don't have your documentation, you can be the most skilled, the most proficient person in the world, but your skill will still be undervalued. And it's sad that times are like that. It probably wasn't like that in the 50s and the 60s, but now as job scarcity is becoming a more rampant thing, job scarcity is going on. And the separation between labor jobs and technical jobs, the gap is becoming so wide that now they require all kinds of documentation for things. One thing while I rode to Tuskegee and coming up to Tuskegee, I can't remember the name of the town we just passed through here, but the town we just passed through to get to Tuskegee, and if anybody watches this and they're from Alabama and they're familiar with the area, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Coming up to get to Tuskegee, once you get into Pike County and beyond, it's the population of black people is very, very high out here, and with the population of black people being very high in this area, you'll know it's all like very, very rural. There's no like development here at all. Whereas you get somewhere like into more of the city places in our area, like Dothan and Enterprise, where I'm from, you'll notice it's highly developed, but the population of black people is very low. And population of black people is low, but those are thriving cities, and they're very developed. And then you get out here and you see high population of black people. But driving to places like this and seeing like the main road going to downtown is Martin Luther King, and that's mainly when I went through Columbus and stuff, and Martin Luther King was more on the outskirts and wasn't in the center of town. You notice, because I've been to quite a few states, I've noticed as I've traveled across the country, normally where they have the black areas or the urban areas, the main street to start that whole development is always Martin Luther King. And here in this specific town, Martin Luther King was leading into downtown. Mm-hmm. And but when I see things like this, it makes you say that if there is a stereotype for black people, then it has to be something. It has to be alternative facts, or it has to be an illusion, because black people are just as in variety as any other people. I'm talking about in mental and in way that we prefer to live, think, our processes, what we do is just as diverse as any other people. I don't think, myself, and looking out here, you see, we drove by and I seen one big, huge farm coming through, and it was just right before you get to the main part of the town. And there's a black black guy with a Stetson on, and his his denim jeans and his cowboy boots, and I shook my head like, yeah, okay, well, out here there are black farmers and there are black farms in this area out here, but also it's a lot of rural development, and there's a few places we pop by and we would say, hey, normally, places I looked and I said I wouldn't think a black person would want to live out in this type of area, and you ride by out here and you think, okay, it's all white people, but because you would think, okay, this would all be all white people because black people would want to live in this type of environment, but every house that we pop by and there's somebody outside, they're black. And I already knew that about Tuskegee. The veteran affairs is in Tuskegee. Tuskegee University is a HBCU. So I knew this was a predominantly black area, but I just never figured in my mind, in all the times that I've drove down here and seen people, or it's been a time where I stopped at the McDonald's back in the day, and I went in there and it was full of black people. As you look in the parking lot across the street where the grocery store is at, you see nothing but black people driving through here. I never figured that black people would like to live like this. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a bad way or in an impoverished way or nothing like that. I mean in a country, rural way where, when it's long, even, and as I'm saying that, I'm seeing that even I have stereotypes about black people. I have stereotypes about black people because I'm looking at this area, and I saw as we were coming out here, it was highly dense in population with black people. And I'm like, what? I didn't think anybody, other black people besides ourselves, would enjoy this type of living. But I don't know if they enjoy it or not, or if they're like it's been handed down from family members or whatever the case may be. But they sure are living. Look at this. Show this pretty country feel right here, out here. Yeah, so it's definitely different. I gotta tell you, it's definitely different. So I can't see the name of the town. I hate that I missed it. I know the name of the town. I've been through it several times. Definitely different. And I also think, since it's like that, and it's highly dense, for 130 acres for sale, and it's highly dense like that, I wonder in 100 years, will this place be re-gentrified? It won't be any black people out here. Who knows? I know one thing, when land developers come through and they offer big dollars for your land, they offer you more than what your land is worth, and you want to just get it off your hands anyway. It's hard to say no. I mean, I can think about it from the aspect of somebody who maybe their ancestors were farmers, because I do know other black people who own substantial amount of land, whether that be 20, 30, and 40 acres. My great aunt, she owns a substantial amount of land that she doesn't even go to. She won't even go there because it's in the country, and I think she has bad memories about racism when she was a young child and the land was left to her, whatever circumstances they had with the land or whatever. But from living out there or whatever, my great aunt and my grandmother and such, they had very, very bad experiences with racism, and so they would return to the land. I think everybody just, I don't know what the case may be, but I think they all just put it in my aunt's care, and I think that she doesn't want to even go out there and visit it. At one point, she said before we got our property, she said we just go work the land and go out there and just go work it. But you know, I didn't opt out on that. Me, I wanted to make my own stake in the world and be my own path and beat to my own drum. And, so I never took her up on the offer to go out there and work the land. But yeah, she has a substantial amount of land out of the country, but she won't go there. And seeing these people out here and seeing how they have substantial land out here, I think, you know, and I saw coming in, some of it was being worked on. Hey, we're in Tuskegee. You're already here. I saw some of it was being worked on, so some of it was just sold. I saw other land up for sale. You know, it makes you say to yourself, you know, do you blame, let's say, young black family or whatnot? You know, they were left something by their grandparents, left a little land by their grandparents. They have no will to even want to work it or do anything with it, and a land developer comes along and, you know, he gives you, you know, 30% more than the appraised value of the land. You know, I would say anybody in America would say you were a fool not to take it, especially if it's like, you know, you're just sitting on 30 acres, 40 acres, you know, and you don't have the equipment to even start cutting. There goes another black guy right there on his not a gravel. I can't remember what the name of that. That's the top of the line mower though, tractor, small tractor. That was the top of the line. But yes, look, there go another one. Look, God dang, oh, they out here everywhere.
I think I got it.
You didn't get it? They're everywhere out here in the country. They all out here in the country. This is crazy. And then too, we rode by while we riding by these houses that look like mansions. You know, big country, not like MTV crib mansions, but it's an older mansion, none the same. All black people coming out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why it make you say, what no black people live here. Next thing you know, you have black guys, you know, like that, older mansions. They were like, when they were originally built, they were probably pristine, but all black people live in them, and you know, they were probably, when they were first built, they were real life, you know, nice mansions, you know, but these are homes that are 60 and 70 years old, you know. Man, black people living in mansions, they don't ever show that type of stuff though in real life. But guys, we have to end this video. I know it's just a big rambling session, but if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment as well.
Like also.
Yeah, maybe like. I'm not going to concern to your likes, but definitely leave a comment or subscribe, and we'll get back to you as soon as we find the bank, get our bank account, business account open. We'll reach back out to you guys. Probably shoot another video today because I'm also going to the Veteran Affairs to get one of the cards that I need. Only because I'm only gonna go get it because it's good. It's a good thing as far as, you know, while I'm right in the middle of town. This is how you know when you're in a. This is how you know when you're in a predominantly black area, because the downtown area will be named Martin Luther King Drive, Martin Luther King something, you know, and that's normally not the case unless it's in a heavily black area. That's the only time that is the case. You will see Martin Luther King. Normally, when you go to any city, you will see a Martin Luther King there. Huh?
You're rambling again.
Gotta go, guys. Gotta go. See you on the next video. Now we gotta go find this bank. Oh man, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, God dog. We're out. Cut the videos.